Crazy times in Washington state right now. Yesterday, on Monday, April 14th, the Washington State House of Representatives passed Senate Bill 5181, which is also known as the bill to repeal the Parents' Bill of Rights. There are two bills that essentially do this same thing. The other one is House Bill 1296, which I broke down in a video a couple of days ago, which I will have linked below for you. Today, I want to dive into these two bills, how they're similar, how they're different, what do they mean for you as parents, and what do I think we can expect next out of Olympia? Hey, everybody, I'm Julie Barrett, founder of Conservative Ladies of America. And today we are talking about two of the bills that our team has been tracking all session long in Olympia, Washington. They are Senate Bill 5181 and House Bill 1296. If you are a regular viewer of the channel, you have probably already heard videos on this. Today, we're going to drill down even further because there's a lot of confusion about these bills. They're similar, but they're also very different. And a lot of people are wondering, like, did one bill die? Are they both going to pass? What happens if they both pass? Can they both pass? And so today we're going to dig into all of the nitty gritty. You're going to geek out with me through every single RCW, which is the Revised Code of Washington, that would be impacted if House Bill 1296 passes, and what would be impacted if Senate Bill 5181 passes, and what you as a citizen and especially as a parent, if you have children in public schools, can do about these bills. So let's dig in. We've got Senate Bill 5181 and House Bill 1296 that have 9 different RCWs that they are impacted by. Now, only one of them is amended in Senate Bill 5181. Senate Bill 5181 is much more narrower in scope, and it only applies to parents' rights in education, while House Bill 1296 is very broad. It covers things like a student's bill of rights, giving students special protection and privacy from their parents. It's also incorporated Senate Bill 5179, which essentially creates a snitch line for school board directors. It also includes new protections for special groups of students, and there are a number of different reporting requirements. And so we're going to go through each of these 9 RCWs quickly and how those are impacted by either one or both of these bills. So the first RCW that we are going to look at is 28A.642.010. House Bill 1296 would expand the list of protected characteristics under which discrimination in public schools is prohibited. So it adds the following classes: ethnicity, homelessness, immigration status or citizenship status, neurodivergence. It also includes gender expression or gender identity and sexual expression or sexual identity. It broadens the scope of non-discrimination protections to include additional marginalized groups from what the existing policy in Washington already has. So this is in direct opposition to what we have seen coming out of the Trump administration, especially with his executive order on stopping the woke indoctrination in public schools. That means that they can't push all of this gender ideology in public schools. And Congress is actually legislating that as well. It is currently in the House, and hopefully we'll get a vote soon and then would move over to the Senate. And so if that becomes law, then Washington state's law would be in direct violation to the federal law. So we've got a number of things in this bill that are going to conflict with federal law. Our next RCW is 43.06B.070. This updates the requirement for the Education Ombuds complaint access point, which will be established by July 1st, 2025. It adds a complaint resolution and referral process requirement to link to the complaint process established in Section 303 of House Bill 1296. They are talking about willful noncompliance with state laws. And this is in reference to your school board directors or any school districts that are not in compliance with the state laws. It retains existing provisions for assigning unique identifiers, discouraging frivolous complaints, and collaborating with OSPI on protocols and communications. Now, as I have watched a lot of the TVW footage on the debates with this bill, the Democrats are very adamant about the willful non-compliance and the willingness of the OSPI to work with school boards to make sure that they are in compliance with the state law. But as you may know, there are several school boards around the state of Washington that have filed OCR complaints against the OSPI for their gender inclusive schools policy, which allows boys into girls' spaces and to participate in girls' sports. So what they want to do is punish the school board directors and the school district. This would cut funding and there would be penalties involved here as well. Next, we've got RCW 28A.300.286. This expands the content of the OSPI's Model Student Handbook language. It adds a new requirement to include information about the complaint process established in Section 303 of House Bill 1296. It ensures that parents, students, and staff are informed about House Bill 1296 complaint mechanism for addressing noncompliance and enhancing transparency. So again, this circles back to the school boards that may not be in compliance with state law, and this gives the students, staff, and parents a way to complain to the state about those school board directors. Now, RCW 28A.343.360 adds a requirement that school board directors swear to support the laws of the state of Washington, in addition to the United States and Washington constitutions, and faithfully discharging their duties. So this is adding to the oath that a school board director would have to take upon assuming office. This is new, and this was going to force school board directors to comply with state laws, regardless of if they're in compliance with federal laws or if they're constitutional. So this RCW is adding a new accountability by explicitly tying the school board director's oaths to state laws, aligning with House Bill 1296's focus on compliance. RCW 28A.710.185 modifies the Charter School Commission's online complaint system, which was originally established November 1st, 2023. It now adds a provision requiring the commission, after verifying that available complaint procedures are exhausted, to forward complaints alleging willful noncompliance with state laws to the OSPI. So you can see here that the state is setting up a number of different processes for people to complain if their school board is not in compliance with the state laws. Our next RCW is 28A.605.005. Now, this RCW overlaps in House Bill 1296 and Senate Bill 5181. It updates and expands the codification of parental rights in public schools, and it removes prior medical notification provisions like emergency treatment, financial impacts, to streamline the focus. Now, I covered this extensively in my video on House Bill 1296 the other day, so I will link that up below. Now, here's something I want to get into on these two bills and what would happen if they were both passed. Is it one or the other? No, these bills could actually both pass. This RCW that's overlapping in both of the bills would just be streamlined after the bills are passed. They would they would basically merge the two together. So basically 5181 would get merged in with 1296. So there's no reason that both of these bills couldn't pass and be signed into law, which then is a win for the Senate Democrats that filed Senate Bill 5181. And it's a win for the House Democrats who have sponsored House Bill 1296. Next up is RCW 28A.320.160. This is actually good news here. It replaces the existing requirement, notification within 48 hours of sexual misconduct reports, with immediate notification to parents or guardians after a report alleging a student is a victim of physical or sexual abuse, sexual misconduct, or assault by a school employee or contractor. It adds a requirement for school districts to annually provide parents and guardians with information on their rights under the Public Records Act to access school employee discipline records. It extends applicability to the charter schools and state tribal compact schools, and it accelerates parental notification, broadening the scope to include contractors and additional misconduct types, and enhances transparency through the public records access. There has been a lot of confusion as both of these bills have moved through the legislative process because things have been added and subtracted and amended and all of that. So this is actually better than it ever was in both of these bills. So it's still, both of the bills are still not good bills, but this is a good change to the bill. In our last RCW is RCW 28A.400.317. This expands the scope of reportable incidents by certified or classified employees or contractors from sexual abuse or misconduct to include physical abuse or assault. It adds a requirement for school administrators during the reasonable cause determination to contact all parties involved in the complaint and immediately notify parents and guardians as required by RCW 28A.320.160. Now, what is the current status of these bills? As of today, which is Tuesday, April 15th, 2025, the House Bill 1296 was passed out of the Senate on Friday, April 11th, and we expect it to be on the floor of the House for concurrence because it was amended a significant amount. So it will have to go back to the House for another vote, where I anticipate that it will be passed, certainly along party lines. And Senate Bill 5181, which has passed out of the House yesterday, will have to go back over to the Senate for concurrence on the Senate side, where I believe it will pass again. So my prediction is that both of these bills will be passed. I predict that both of these bills will be signed into law by Governor Ferguson, and both of these bills do have an emergency clause, meaning that they will take effect right away. So as soon as the bills are signed, they would take effect right away. Now, of course, the governor could take a line item veto and veto those emergency clauses on these bills. I don't know. I guess that's a toss up for me. I don't know if he would do that or not. I think he is pretty bought in on this whole gender things. So I don't see why he would veto the emergency clause on these bills. So that's my prediction. We advise all parents of public school students in Washington state to get your kids out of the public schools. As soon as these bills pass, you need to get your kids out of the public schools. You can give them a break. You don't have to have it all figured out. They can take a break. And while you figure out if you're going to homeschool or private school, personally, I recommend that you homeschool. And we don't want to be just telling people to pull their kids without giving them some resources and some solutions to be able to make that happen. And so on May 6th, we are going to be having a virtual homeschool event with some of our great friends who are very engaged in the homeschool community from around the country. We're going to have Robert Bortons from Classical Conversations. Robert and I did a live stream event back in January. We're also going to have Jonathan and Adriana Prescott with us again, who are the authors of Kids Don't Need School. We're also going to have Lindsay Mann of Homeschool Supply Company and probably someone from HSLDA as well. If you've got kids in public school, this is the perfect event for you. It's virtual. It'll be live streamed right here on our YouTube channel. This will be a great way for you to figure out what's involved with homeschooling. How can I make it work for my kids? What are the next steps that I need to take, and start getting plugged into some of the resources that can help make it happen for you and your family. I recommend that you subscribe to our Substack. That way you will get breaking alerts delivered right to your email inbox. That's the best way to get up-to-date information on these things, as this stuff is going to be moving very fast, especially here at the end of the session. We will for sure be keeping you posted on Substack and all of our social media outlets. So you can find us everywhere as Conservative Ladies of America or Conservative Ladies of Washington. We're on all social platforms, and we would love for you to join us there. Please do share this video far and wide. We need to get the word out. We really want to separate fact from fiction so that people are debating on the true facts of both of these bills. And if you're not already, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will keep you posted on the next step for both of these bills. Please do leave us a comment below. Let us know your thoughts on these bills. Do you need help with homeschooling? What kind of questions do you have? We would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.